open
I
up
sit
the
over
meeting.
here so I can spread all my stuff.
And first thing on the agenda would be to ask if there's any changes or additions or anything to the agenda. Hear none.
Oh,
Is there
no,
something?
you're in the wrong seat.
Oh!
It's not me for once.
I put your stuff there, so I'm
Okay.
like, oh wait, there is.
Perfect.
That's why I did not see
I didn't take anything, Larry.
Okay. We'll strike that last comment. And
TJ,
I
yeah,
got-
just swap those papers.
Okay, so under changes to agenda, we need to add Joy at 7:15 to discuss options for new ton truck and information on selling the old one. So that needs to be added. And this.
Yep, that's for you.
So I'll need a motion to add Joey's.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Phil made a motion. Pierre seconded a motion to add Joy at 7:15. Any more discussion? Have none. Anyone wants to add it, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. So we approved adding Joy to the agenda at 7:15. All right. So next on the agenda would be to approve the minutes of the last meeting. So November 7th, minute meetings.
On that 1 acre of land, are we able to put that as something of, or formal letter asking if we were interested, in the 1 acre property as,
Two curls, you mean?
yeah, as,
Donation, executive, I don't know. what
or
word you're-
something,
I don't know
yeah,
what word you're trying to come up with.
yeah, I'm trying to come up with something.
Say it again, Pierre.
As a donation, just adding as a donation.
Okay.
Yeah, or
Like her 1 acre land as a donation.
yeah, just something a little bit.
Oh, you're talking about yeah, I didn't get
Yeah.
to the bottom yet. I just saw it on the done.
Okay.
I said I got this one. I don't know if these are final or if you go.
Oh, no.
You know what I mean? Just tiny. I didn't have anything else.
Other than that,
Yeah, it looks good.
you been done that early?
Yeah. That's, well,
I don't
it's nearly
remember.
9 o'clock. I mean, that's exactly. Hi, Dean.
I don't know,
Sorry, Dean.
I'll move.
Spots here.
Second with the change.
Pierre made a motion, Phil seconded a motion to accept the minutes with the change of adding the Sue Coral's land as donation. Correct?
Yep.
Yes.
Any more discussion? Have none, all those in favor of approving the minutes as such, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Unanimous ayes, the minutes are passed. All right, at this point, open it up to any public comments that anybody from the public may have. I do have Heather on the agenda as the next item.
Bless you.
If no public comments, we'll move right on to Heather Moore.
Right on time too, wow.
Yeah.
I was the
No,
first
no, I'm
person
not saying, I'm saying
Oh.
us.
Okay.
You can come up here, Heather. If you
here. Okay. Wasn't sure how you all did it here, but okay. Glad I could be on the agenda, thank you. So I'm here just as a community member, not representing any particular organization, but I'm not sure what it says on the agenda.
Just as a
And what
website.
information, and what information you got beforehand, but as you probably are aware, a lot of community members have talked about a municipal calendar, like kind of a larger scale calendar system. Since I've moved here 6 years ago, that's kind of been a big talk. I know that there was a grant a while ago before COVID that didn't go very far into looking into it. In the past couple of weeks, I've been trying to do, well, the past several years, like I do a lot of scheduling events and stuff, and I find one of the biggest frustrations is the amount of time it takes to figure out what's going on in our community and surrounding communities to make sure that we don't double book events and make conflicts with vendors and the people you're trying to get to the meeting. So I did some research and I found some platforms that are actually very inexpensive and fairly simple to use. And so I was just wanted to come talk about it, see if it's something that you'd consider looking into more, potentially funding. I've also been talking with Brenda from the library and Jesse with zoning and Margot with rec to just as a partnership, like would this be helpful? They agree it would. It looks like also Jesse's been using the calendar on the town's website a little bit more. So maybe that is a solution, but one of the websites that I found that's really cool is it's about $1,500 a year, fairly inexpensive for like the larger package. You can scale it down a little bit. What's kind of nice about it is you could have directors of different organizations have their own password, and so they would be responsible for inputting their events themselves, so you wouldn't have to have somebody be emailed with all the details. And then you can have subscribers. So community members who are interested could subscribe and say, like, I want to know about youth events, and then they get emails about youth events, and then you get updates. You know, the Enosburgh in the Park is happening on the 3rd, and you get an email reminder because I'd say probably all of us tend to forget about events. And you can also, on this particular one, you can color code based on categories, upload flyers. People can register for events through the website. It seems fairly user-friendly. And it's just one example. But like I said, I just kind of wanted to pitch it out there.
What was that called?
Calendar Wizard. And Jesse has the website. I did email it to him, but it's calendarwiz.com, W-I-Z. Yeah.
And that's the one that's $1,500 a year.
A year, and that's like with a day package. That's with like 20 or so users, that people who input into it, and then you could have, I think it was like 1,000 subscribers, which maybe it's like an a la carte system, so you could probably have fewer of one or the other. But 1,500 is still pretty good for like one of their largest packages. And when I kind of like was brainstorming through this, I was thinking, we could start small with like 3 users, see how it works, like, rec in the library, and then kind of move on towards like the Opera House and other further organizations, so that you start small, make sure it works, and then give more passwords out.
We just approved that rec.com, 2 months ago?
Maybe 2 meetings ago.
Yeah.
And that was
And that kind of sounds similar to what she's saying.
Yeah, kind of.
because that was the thing with her. She was talking about signing up for events and having people pay through there and sign up for multiple events.
October 17th.
October 17th.
So did you, when you said you talked to Margot?
Yes.
Did she say that it sounded similar to what she was having us purchase already? Because it
Yeah,
kind
we
of sounds similar.
Talked quite in the detail since hers has been approved. She still, I did kind of email her and asked if she, like last week on Friday, to make sure she was still in support of it, and she was. And I think the thing with the rec is that it's rec specific activities for that, where this would be like a blood drive or like when there's events in the parks, like when there's like clothing events, and so things that are not necessarily, wouldn't necessarily fall under the rec calendar. So it'd be kind of like a broader community calendar. Like last weekend we had 3 craft fairs in one day.
So the rec calendar couldn't become a community calendar?
That is a question.
Okay.
Like,
No, I
it
didn't,
may or
I
may
didn't
not,
know
I don't
if it
know.
was, okay.
I don't know. Like, I don't, like, because I know Margot, like, has definitely, and Yvonne before her, like, partnered with other community members, but there was kind of like a focus and a limit.
Oh, I see.
Where, so she wouldn't put everything on her rec calendar necessarily.
Okay.
Because-
so maybe there is some things that it's limited to do that, whereas these other calendars might have more.
Maybe, and I also don't know. Yeah, I think it kind of depends on also if you want to, like, the rec calendar would be specific to recreational activities, whereas like what I'm talking is just kind of very broad. Like if there's something going on in the community, let's get it on the calendar so people know about it. And then the subscriber part is like where you might actually get people to show up.
What do you mean the subscriber part? Like people would they pay?
It's free to subscribe. So you could get like an email notification when Brenda posts a new event from the library.
Oh.
So it's in the calendar, but you also got an email saying there's a new event. And then, or you can just go on the website and look.
But how would, my question is, so we have a website and the village has a website, many other organizations do. How would people know to go to this particular?
You would have it embedded on your page, and it would maybe just replace the calendar that you already have on there.
Okay.
Probably.
What does the village use? Oh, sorry, Dean.
No.
I think it's just a similar kind of embedded calendar, but it only has village municipal specific information on there.
Are they gonna get this as well? Are they looking to redo something else?
No, not specifically. One of my thoughts was, because coming to you all, was that maybe it would be a general fund, so it'd be both municipalities together.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And not speak on behalf of the trustees.
Right,
but I
right.
just,
No, I didn't mean
clarify
to
that.
word it that way.
Yeah,
I just
no,
was
I
curious.
just-
But
I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going. This is a little like confusing.
But the thing is that, I mean, you'd be introducing it to them too.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
they could post, they could be involved in it and post on it.
Yes.
Just like everybody else.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it
so
would be all one spot.
connected, yeah.
Right, and that's like one of the other things too, is just like it's going to all of the different calendars when you're trying to make an event, and then sometimes, things might not get posted or they don't update their calendars. So like people would have to have a level of responsibility, but I've scheduled a lot of community events where I find out there was something else going on that I didn't know about, and then nobody shows up.
You could have figured that out on that.
Yeah.
And the emails.
Mm-hmm.
So like for the Opera House, how the rec thing can sign up and buy tickets or buy whatever on it, can they do the same on this, or is no?
I think what it would do is it would send it would send you back maybe to their website where their ticket master or ticket system is. I think is what it would do.
Okay.
We did set the Opera House up with the access to the Google Calendar that we currently use on our thing. We have them and Brenda Rec for now, and I can't remember who else. The ambulance, I think, had. That's who currently uses the one that we have now. But this, I think what you're talking about is like the school would.
They could,
Because I think that's where the miscommunication kind of comes from. Like we're all doing our own thing, and they're doing their own thing, and it's nobody's
as a
doing
group-
anything wrong.
So as a group, it's gonna reach
I think you
a
have to
larger
do it
amount of
on
people
that
at an
scale.
easier-
Because like you were just saying about what was going on this weekend, I don't know what you're speaking of, but you were saying like craft fairs or something.
Yeah, there's
And if everybody's having one, then that means like the schools aren't talking to the Opera House, or the
Right.
Opera House isn't talking to
It was the
EBA
Legion was
or
the
something
other
like
one,
that.
yeah.
So it has to be on I would say a fairly large scale if you don't want
Yeah.
to have overlap.
Right, and I think the subscriber thing is like one of the main differences between the Google Calendar that is on the website and what I'm talking about. And it's kind of like how, Facebook is good like that it sends you reminders and it says, hey, this is something like an organization you like just posted a new event, you might be interested, but not everybody's on Facebook. And so like for a while, I tried to shift a lot of my stuff to Facebook events because that's where a lot of the crowd was. But fewer people are actually looking at Facebook now, actually. And it's like TikTok and Twitter and other platforms. And I just can't spread out to all of those platforms and deal with their... what is it?
Politics?
Well, like the filtering, like you have to like pay to get
And you have to do
boosted.
so many things.
And you
in
have
order-
to publish a bunch to get to the algorithm for anybody to
You can
see
do it at
it.
night.
Oh my gosh.
Until midnight.
I tried to get off Facebook, but then I'm
So-
I'm posting stuff for work.
So do we have a separate village and town website right now?
We
right?
both have separate ones.
Yeah.
So is there? I was just throwing this out there. Is there a reason that we couldn't combine just the website and say village, town and village website, and then put the calendar on there?
I think that would be too confusing at this time for people because like the village has all village stuff, but they also have what do you call it? Notifications where they have a place so you can go and pay your bills and stuff. And I'm just worried it would be too confusing.
Yeah, no, it may be just something to think about too. If you have a calendar that has everything, maybe we can get to that point where, you can.
How would you title it? I guess is probably what you're looking for, right?
Well, no, I was actually looking for, for a combined website that
Yeah.
says village information here, almost like you have two blocks, and here's the village that brings you to basically the village website.
Yeah.
Here's the town that brings you to the current town website. But at least you can put that calendar right below, so it's like they're still separate.
Well, yeah, we'll
What's
both put the links to the calendar.
Yeah, like we
on
could
it,
just embed this calendar into both.
Right,
websites.
right,
yeah.
We could do that,
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I think
And this, so you've looked at this website. So when you go to this calendar whiz, it just pops up with a calendar, and it doesn't do other things besides like the notifications that you said. It's not like
well, when you go on the website, it just
you're not
kinda talks
buying
you
anything,
through.
or it's not directing you to do something. It's not sending you link. I mean, that I just want to know. Like, it just brings you to Enosburgh
right.
activity. I don't
If-
know what it's called, but
Right. So if you had a subscription and you purchased the website, when you have it embedded, it would not be advertising the other stuff.
okay.
Who would be the admin person? Like, would it need an admin person to
Definitely, yeah. And that's
Yeah.
one of the things I talked to Jesse because he was like the person I thought might be. First, I
Okay.
thought maybe Margot, but she felt like that was a little bit too much.
Yeah.
And Jesse said it's worth exploring. So obviously, not committing himself or anything, but maybe he's not the right person. But he's the person that came to mind.
Right.
But what it looks like is since people do input stuff themselves, it would be like one of those things where it takes a fair amount of work the first month maybe just to like go through the kinks,
And
then
users
it's probably
will
fine.
have questions like, "Oh, this didn't let me sign up," or like that's just part of the
Yeah.
process.
I mean, you have that, but then at the same time, depending on what you're posting, I mean, someone would have to say yay or nay.
Like approval type stuff.
I guess that's my one concern. Like when you say that you would give department heads, or I don't know if that's the actual word you used, access with their own password. And I mean, we would trust all of our employees, but I think we would have to give serious consideration to somebody outside either organization to wonder what they would be
Right.
posting.
Yeah.
Not that I'm saying inappropriateness. It's just like, is it appropriate for town and village?
And you could probably come up with like a 1-page MOU of for using for having a
Yeah, you'd want something.
and then but what I meant was like one person at the Opera House would have their username or password so that they could be responsible for Opera House stuff. If you wanted the school to post, so it would be like maybe the admin assistant at the school, they would have a username, password. Margot Rec would do their own, library would do their own, and then other organizations within our community.
Would it be just to the community, or would you have separate views? Like, I'm probably thinking like beyond this, but like just the Opera House can see this set of, you said there was.
You can see everybody.
But can they create their own view to just see events that they put on there though, like for their team? Because I just would worry about like
this. So
different.
this is
things.
just like one of their examples of the calendar. It's like really fuzzy, but you can do it by category, and then
Right.
it's color coded.
So what if this blue, they made their own, and like, so are they able to put private, like that we can't
I
see?
think you are allowed to do that, but
That would
And
be a little
I would assume
concerning.
that they're not allowed to edit others' things.
correct.
Okay, that's what I would be worried about
Yeah.
too. Somebody was like, mine's more important, beep. You're gone.
I've
Right.
seen those before, the calendar overlays. They are cool, but there is a lot of behind the scenes.
Mhm.
You know, it's just one of those. With the technology comes the ability to do
Right.
a lot.
And
Yeah.
you said for 1,500, how many people can subscribe with that amount?
I think that I can pull that up. Look at the plan real
Subscribe is
quickly.
such a interesting word. You
Right,
know, like when you
so
think.
the residents wouldn't have to pay.
Correct. It'd be
Okay.
free for them. So it's like not.
You're
It's
paying
$100 a
Joe
year just to have it. 10 users, but nobody subscribes. So where are the subscriber ones? Okay, so to have up to 50 subscribers, it's $2 a month. And then you can also add file storage to. I think I did the math based on 1,000 subscribers, which is probably way more than we would need. But just thinking like would be community members and then people kind of like in the outer greater part of the community as well. And yeah, so subscribers would be able to get the email sent to themselves, notifications sent to themselves, like update reminders. But it's free, and then you don't have to be a subscriber to look at the calendar. Anybody can look at the calendar. Subscribers just get it emailed to them.
Gotcha.
So, and I'm sure there's other platforms too. So somebody who's more tech savvy than I am, could look into, might find something different and better. But I didn't think that there was a system that was as inexpensive as this out there.
And with this would go to, so if somebody in Sheldon or St. Albans is looking at events, our events would show up on their, if they get the same calendar, or would this calendar spread out to
This would just
wider than just our community? for
Well,
people
so-
searching?
the calendar would be like our own web address calendar. So the users would be just the people who were given permission and access from our community, but anybody could see it. Somebody else who bought the platform, our information would not overlap. If that's what you were asking.
I'm just, so like if somebody was looking for bazaars to go to or something from Sheldon, if they were searching, would it show up?
They would have to go to
I
one of our
don't
websites.
know.
Go to the website,
One of
yeah.
our
Yeah,
websites,
I think
it
they'd
would-
actually have to go to the website to look.
All right.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
have to be a
That's a good
subscriber to
question.
go to the
A lot of
website
people
right
do
now.
that.
Advertising for things.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't be offended if we looked at others besides this?
Not at all.
Okay.
No, I just I had this idea and I was like, I don't want to just sit on it.
So what is the Google, like, so the one that we currently use, is there like limitations to that one? Like, so it won't do any of these types of things?
It's not going to send out notifications.
Notifications, okay.
It's strictly,
Just for
the
the
calendar. if you go to our website, you can bring it up. And we've
Okay.
given our department heads passwords so they can adjust their own, and they would,
Okay, so
But-
they're all used to that kind of stuff.
nothing that the village has been asked to be on there, and likewise, I mean, the Opera House has, because they're part of us. But just
Mhm.
town stuff, not to say that we couldn't.
Yeah,
expand
there's
it.
not a lot. There hasn't been much put on there. And Margot was just telling me she actually can. I was just trying to see if I can find an example.
Do we have an event calendar now that lists everybody's events? Or is it just like you go to the library and list their events, you go to the Opera House and list their events, you go to this one and list their events?
Yeah.
So we
That's
don't
what
have
it
one
looks
that has
like.
all the events in one particular spot.
Because it's the thing you're clicking on is you're like clicking on library, and you're
Right,
like,
that's
what's
it.
happening at the library?
Right,
Then if you want to, you'd click on Opera House and tell
right, so you have to go to
So
each
it's
individual
not-
site to,
yeah,
or each
I'm not sure-
individual, I amenity to.
I mean, I
That
think,
would also-
I think it can be amended to do that, but I haven't played with it.
You know, I was trying to
It
just,
just makes sense if you open up one, it gives you, okay, library's got this going on, opera house got this going on. If you got a couple of different kids that wanna try something different on the same night,
Well, that's why I say that we need to incorporate the school too, because they're a big part of the
Right.
community and
Right.
things. They actually have more happening
Right.
than the town or the village
Right.
They do
has.
have a
and you're
lot
probably
of-
gonna get more people with
So-
one click than you are with searching for
And if you don't
5
include the
different
school, you're
things.
missing, I think, half the picture.
yeah, like right now, there's a couple of events on here. The I know it must be when I looked at it on the computer, there was a little bit more information that popped up, but I'm not getting anything other than the name of the activity and the time on my phone. It's mostly select board meetings, EBA's on here. You know, another one is just like talking to people from Richford, like they try to plan events, but they don't wanna plan their events on when we have something,
Right, so
like
they
they
can't
don't want their
check
Harvest
theirs.
Fest on the same weekend as our Harvest Fest.
No, I mean, they do communicate fairly well with us. They'll
Yeah.
call down to the office and they'll be like, hey, who's in charge of this, or do you know when the date is? And
Yeah.
so we do try.
Yeah, which is awesome.
But like you say, for them to just go, and then
Yes.
it's all laid out right there,
Yeah,
saves a phone
sounds-
call,
yeah.
saves some headache, seems.
it does. Yeah. So I'm happy to try to answer some more questions about it. I got the website. I know there's a lot of other platforms out there too. This one just seemed, with my limited tech knowledge, the most user friendly. But there might be better
Probably
ones
not as
out
limited
there.
as I am, so.
No, it's
The-
definitely a food for
The
thought.
rec one would still have to be separate. They couldn't do, this one here wouldn't be able to do the paying.
And it'd probably be
so
overwhelming if you get,
I think
you know
that
what I
needs to
mean,
be
like with the
separate.
rec and then,
No, but I am interested to see, like, the company that Margot got that from, if there's, like, if it
Maybe it's
bounces off something
wow.
else, so it's
Yeah.
something bigger,
So,
that this is a section of it, and then so I'm gonna talk to Margot
I
about it
think-
when
yeah,
she comes in.
that's true, cause it could be something that,
Yeah.
see,
Right.
you got
Which-
this,
just for-
this is $750 a
That
year,
would be great.
Yeah, this is an
and it
add-on
gives
or
you the
something.
same as what
Yeah.
this
Because what she
does.
just,
Right.
what Margot described sounds fabulous, and so if we could just kind of springboard from that, that would be even better.
what was hers called?
Hers is
Like,
rec.com.
myrec.com.
Oh,
My
really?
rec, yeah, my rec.
Okay.
Yeah, when I heard about that, that sounds really awesome. I've been on
Well,
the Essex one and
I think you,
St.
I
Albans.
think you said Swanton has that, right?
Swanton has it, yeah.
Yeah.
They like it. It works well.
Yeah.
I've used it as a patron myself.
Yeah.
Made it real easy.
And I like that they send out newsletters for upcoming things that
Right.
maybe aren't on the calendar yet
Right.
and stuff, and I think that's a handy thing to have, you know, you print it out, put it on your
Yeah.
fridge, and like.
Yeah.
you
Especially
can
if it
say,
doesn't cost you anything to be a subscriber, and people
Right.
are gonna subscribe just out of the fact of doing it, cause it doesn't cost anything, number one, and if they, you
Right.
know, if there is something, I mean, something going on, then
Well, especially
Well
everything's turning
Yeah.
online now too, so it's, you know, with COVID and just
Yeah.
Zoom meetings and.
I like the part that, you know, sends out notifications, like
Right.
just like a phone or an email or something that pings
Yeah.
you.
Let me check to see if there was an app. But
yeah, reminders I would think would be great for a busy family.
Right, because I mean, how many
You
times
know
have
what
we
I
all,
mean?
like, we've
Right. If you got
gone
4
home
kids
and we're
doing
almost ready
stuff-
for bed, we're like, oh darn, we forgot
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
thing today.
right, yeah.
yeah.
Never happens. What's like?
Okay. Well,
Uh,
there's nothing else.
yeah,
I just,
And
Yeah, it's great.
we'll look into a couple things, keep you in the loop if you want.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you.
Perfect,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Heather.
Thanks,
Everybody too. Stay warm out there, it's like
Yeah, I was
40
gonna say that.
minimum.
It was
Oh
10,
my
was it,
gosh.
what was it at your house this morning?
See ya.
It was
Yeah.
15, I think.
Oh, was it? Mine
I
was
think
10.
Dwayne, well, he said that was at 4 o'clock this morning. He was like, oh my gosh.
You live in a cold pocket.
It's fine too.
What'd you have?
10.
So you know
I had
what?
16.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say 15.
It was single
It
digits
was-
this
Brooke
morning.
keeps us
It
a
was
little
4:30 when I got up.
Village and
But I see the circle
the
started.
wind chill.
In front of my house, you see it?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
like
see,
that. It's
started,
very
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
So 20 will feel very nice for us then.
Alright, so
Wow,
You
executive.
wonder with that, if there's something with what we already have or that we can,
We haven't really played around with Google. Well, we already use Google, and the department heads use that. And I could see what she's saying. Like, you can't just push a button and have it
Right.
all together.
Right.
Like, but it works for what we have. Like, if you want to go do what's happening at the library, so you click library and it brings it up. And I can see both sides. Pushing a button and getting everything dropped in your lap is also handy. You don't miss
I mean,
things.
especially like say if you got a couple of kids and you got one going, I like to do this at the library, and the other one goes, well, what else could I do while we're right here in town or whatever? It's all
But
right there, you know.
But like I said to her, the school has to be involved in it, because that's where a lot of the overlapping that nobody knows, because Opera House had a craft fair,
Right.
and the little school did too, so it's school and the Opera House.
Yeah.
So somebody's not communicating if you're having the same thing on the same weekend.
Right.
So if you don't include the school, you're still gonna keep having happen what
That
has
later,
been happening.
that, yeah.
It's not just about missing things, it's
Right.
about double booking
You're not
in
talking
the
about-
same
Right,
town.
right.
You're not talking about like school basketball games or
Well, I think you could put all that on there, but what she said that there was 2 craft fairs
Like
in the
events,
town
yeah.
where they should have had a
Combined it, had it all
conversation
to
and said,
once.
you have yours now and I'll wait closer to Christmas to have
Approves,
mine.
right.
Or, hey,
Appropriation.
let's do it
Appropriations.
together.
Right.
Yeah,
or
so
So
do
then
it
you're
all
not
together.
splitting up the
Right,
people.
Right. You're gonna draw more people that way probably because you get one.
Right.
You know, you go to the Opera House. I get sick of shopping. I've
Well,
never been
and
to a
I-
craft fair, but I would assume I'd be pretty sick of that.
Well, and I think like what the library and the rec are
Yeah,
doing, they're doing a lot of stuff. They're more merging themselves together. Like, I think it would benefit everybody if more organizations did that throughout the town on
Yeah.
weekends and stuff, instead of trying to get somebody to go to the Opera House and somebody to the elementary school and
Right.
somebody to the park.
Too
Try
much
to
competition
have a
there.
central. Yeah, it gets
No
tiring.
need to compete.
No, there
Really,
was
I mean, we're all it's
there's
all the
not
same
room.
goal. Is we need to compete.
yeah, because
Is
I
it
think the
real
schools already have a calendar on their
Just the
websites.
appropriation.
I use it for Brady.
well, like we do, but
Uh-oh.
No, I'm saying like if they already
Right,
like
right.
have that in mind, you know, like for
but
events.
I think it's not
Yeah.
a bad idea, but see what ours can do first, and then see if they can merge. Put up instead of like what she said. Okay, you bring up library and it's library. Bring up Opera House, it's Opera House. Maybe there is a way on our Google Calendar already to put every event, and then we would have to try to give the village passwords and school passwords, and etc.
it'd be nice.
Because it's already free.
Right.
The Google's already
Right.
free.
And it'd be nice if you got users that look up library stuff frequently. If something new comes up, it sends them a
Right, it pops up or a
message
message or
to
something,
them.
right.
Opera House stuff, almost like a advertisement.
And it would be handy for us to have some sort of database with emails or text messages too, so that if we had an event, we could put it out there. Or
Right.
road closure or something like
So that we're coming up to the executive session. So you don't expect him.
that. The executive session is ambulance person.
Okay. So we'll have to go executive again. We can't.
Everything else is an executive bill.
Well, Joey's now with the truck, talking with the
Right.
truck stuff, but.
I can go out and see if she's here. I don't.
Yeah, if he's here, we could probably do that, do his thing, and then go in executive, and then maybe early evening. Get ready for the turkey.
You got a cold, huh, Phil?
Allergies.
Oh,
I
Brady
really
has
think
them
it's
awful.
allergies.
He does too.
Yeah, I don't think it's a cold. I think
Benadryl.
it's-
Benadryl.
Yeah, I take Claritin every day.
Oh, Claritin.
Yeah.
It's just overpowered right now.
Yeah.
It's just,
It is.
Probably because the house is closed up, the cat's in there.
Oh,
You know, who knows what you walk through in
Yeah,
the woods.
so
when
we
you're
just
out
chopped a
walking.
bunch of hay today.
Yeah, stuff like that, yeah. And I got him so
He's
bad
not-
anything triggers it.
Nobody's out there besides the ladies.
Yeah, throw the cat outside.
We
You're,
just
so you're
got her
allergic to
clipped.
cats?
I don't know. It's just the house being stuffed up, and I'm sure there's
That can do
names. I'm
it,
sure
yeah.
the dog. I'm sure it's the dog, but pretty
Not
sure.
the
I'm
dogs,
pretty
no.
sure I
That
would
was
go.
never my
I
dogs.
would-
I was
It's
in-
a dog.
It would be too bad if we had to get rid of those dogs for all this dog hair, wouldn't it?
I think I would go before the dog.
We bought ours.
I've already told Gary he's going before the dogs.
Probably the dog would want to go
Ours
with
is-
you, though. That's the problem.
We bought ours allergy free. It doesn't have damage.
Oh, it doesn't. They can't get German Shepherds
No,
like
no.
that.
I don't know, I say we move into, I'll move for executive session.
She's not here.
Yeah, so,
Do we have somebody?
Yeah, I mean, we can discuss a few things anyway.
Yeah, I'll second it.
Let's get it done.
so we need to move into the executive session from talk on the ambulance
Wow.
personnel